Hundreds of years ago, in the land of Baghdad, lived a boy named Aladdin. He and his mother were very poor. So poor, in fact, that they often went hungry.
Mother, is there nothing else for supper tonight?
Nothing but this piece of black bread. Oh, how I wish your father were still alive. Now, who can that be?
I'll answer it, Mother.
At the door stood a tall, strange man. He wore a white turban of the purest silk.
Why, hello.
Aladdin, how are you, my boy?
I'm all right, thank you. Who are you, please?
Oh, who am I? Oh, I forget you've never seen me before. I am your uncle.
My uncle?
Yes, your Uncle Hamid. I'm a famous magician.
Of course, the stranger wasn't really Aladdin's uncle. He was pretending. But why? Soon we'll know exactly why. Meanwhile, he performed feats of magic and showed Aladdin and his mother that he really was a magician. He made clouds appear and start raining. He clapped his hands and made thunder.
Now, Aladdin, I want you to come with me on a very important journey.
Where, Uncle?
To the most secret part of the forest.
They came to an underground cave.
Now, my boy, deep down inside the cave, you will find a lamp. Bring it to me.
Aladdin slipped down into the cave. Deeper and deeper he went. Finally, he came upon a lamp. An old, dirty lamp that looked absolutely worthless.
Could this be what he wants?
Suddenly, a strange feeling came over Aladdin. He felt that he must not give up the lamp, but keep it for himself. For a long time, Aladdin remained silent, refusing to give up the lamp.
I'll seal him in forever.
The magician intoned some mysterious words, and a huge rock fell into the entrance of the cave, sealing it off. Then he left, never to return. Poor Aladdin. He stood inside the pitch-black cavern, holding the lamp and not knowing what to do. In the darkness, he stubbed his toe and fell heavily on the ground. Then, to his amazement, the cave was filled with light that flowed from a huge genie that appeared out of nowhere.
You called, Master?
Who are you?
The slave of the lamp. Whenever you rub the lamp, I appear to grant you your every wish.
Rub the lamp? Oh, I must have rubbed it by accident when I fell.
That is true, Master. Now command, and I obey.
Aladdin's first thought was for his mother.
My mother has worked hard all her life, O Genie. I wish her good things to eat and fine clothes and a comfortable home.
Your wish is granted, my master. Come and see.
In an instant, Aladdin was home again.
Mother, I'm back.
My son, look, a wonderful thing has happened.
And indeed, his mother was now dressed in fine clothes and lived in a fine house. Suddenly, there was a sound from the street, the sound of royal music. Aladdin sprang to the window and saw the Sultan passing by in his carriage, and with him was his beautiful young daughter. For years, Aladdin had secretly been in love with her. But how could he, unknown and the son of a widow, hope to marry the Sultan's daughter? How could he even enter the Sultan's palace without being stopped by the guards? Then Aladdin had an idea.
The lamp. Here, let me rub the lamp.
What do you wish, my master?
Take me to the palace of the Sultan.
Your wish is granted, my master.
Who are you?
My name is Aladdin. I love you and wish to marry you.
But how can that be? I am promised to another, Mephisto, son of the Grand Visor.
He rubbed the magic lamp.
What do you wish, master?
Form an army of invaders. Have them appear at the gates of Baghdad, but to harm no one.
Your wish is granted.
The Sultan's daughter saw that Mephisto was a coward, but still she thought she should marry him. Next, Aladdin had the genie change him into a helpless old beggar.
Please, Mephisto, I am starving. Help me.
Help you? Get out, you lazy old man.
And the Sultan's daughter saw that Mephisto was cruel, but still she thought she should marry him. Finally, Aladdin ordered the genie, in disguise, to tell Mephisto that the Sultan and his daughter had quarreled, and that she had been disinherited.
Worthless woman! What good is she to me without her father's money?
When the Sultan's daughter heard that, her eyes were opened, and she refused to marry him. Soon she fell in love with Aladdin and married him instead.
Our story begins in the ancient country of Persia, in the city of Baghdad. One day, a porter carrying a heavy load stopped to rest near a beautiful home. He looked at the splendid house and said, "How is it this man has so much and I have so little? Why is he so fortunate and I so unlucky?" The porter did not realize someone was at the window above him. "Bring me that man." Two servants seized the frightened porter. "But I didn't mean any harm. Please, where do you take me?" "To the greatest sailor of all time, Sinbad. He would speak with you." So the poor porter was brought before the owner of this fine house, Sinbad the Sailor. "Spare me, O master."
Do not be afraid, my friend. I heard your remarks as you rested, and I would like to tell you a story. A tale you will never forget. Please be my guest and feast with me while I tell you of my adventures. As a young boy, I was very poor, but I was determined to search for my fortune. I decided on a sailor's life and signed on as a deckhand on the Golden Fleece. She was the most beautiful and fastest ship that ever outraced a pirate craft. I sailed for many years, learning the business of shipping and trading, waiting for the day when I would own my own boat. One day, we were caught in a typhoon and blown far off our course. A giant wave washed me and two companions overboard. We clung to a log for a while, but soon we were separated in the storm. Then, night fell over the violent sea. I swam until I found myself on a strange beach. Confused and frightened, I wandered into the jungle and became lost. Finally, I dropped from exhaustion. When I awoke in the morning, I was next to a great white wall. But then I discovered it was a monstrous egg. Only one bird could lay an egg such as this, the roc. I remembered an ancient story about an island of fortune where the roc bird lived. Perhaps, I thought, this was it. A great flapping of wings startled me. The roc. I hid under the egg, wondering what to do, when I had a desperate plan. I tied myself to the rock's leg so that when he flew high above the trees, I could get my directions. As we went higher and higher, I could see a river leading out to the ocean. Finally, the great bird landed in a cave high on a mountain. A strange light came from within. Untying myself from the bird, I sneaked into the cave and could hardly believe my eyes. The Island of Fortune. For there was a treasure in jewels beyond any dreams. I filled my pockets and clothes with as many jewels as I could carry. When the rock had gone, I sneaked out of the cave and down the mountain. I constructed a log raft and let the river carry me towards the sea. Suddenly, I was no longer moving. The raft had stopped. Then I saw why. A monster 20 feet tall had grabbed the raft and was lifting me up in the air. He had one huge eye, large ears, and an ugly mouth. The hideous creature paralyzed me with fear, for I expected to be killed at any moment. The beast took me to his nearby cave and dropped me into a cage, and I saw what my fate was to be. There, tied to stakes, were my 2 shipmates. The monster was going to cook and eat them. I couldn't see any way of escape. My only hope was to distract the giant somehow. Then I thought of the jewels. While the beast gathered wood for our barbecue, I fashioned a string of dazzling gems. When he returned, I dangled them to attract his attention. The flashing almost hypnotized the monster. He opened the cage door and grabbed the tantalizing jewels while I slipped out. Quickly, I freed my friends, and we ran for the river in my raft. The eye of the creature was only interested in the sparkling toy, which he had now placed about his neck. But we didn't know how long that would be. Just as we reached the ocean, we heard the roaring of the monster as it came crashing through the jungle, looking for his runaway dinner. He saw us and started wading out faster than we could push away. The jewels sparkled as he moved. Just as he was about to grab the raft, a great shriek stopped him, and he looked up. The rock had missed the jewels and had seen them sparkling on the giant. The battle was on. While the 2 monsters fought, we frantically pushed far out to sea and drifted away with the current. The next day, we were picked up by the Golden Fleece. I had enough jewels to make the entire crew wealthy. I was able to buy my own sailing ship and prospered as a merchant and trader before I settled here in this home. And so, friend, you see, I earned my fortune in a great adventure. For listening to an old man's story, I present you with a gift. The wealth this jewel will bring you will remind you of the famous Sinbad the Sailor. Sultan of India had a beautiful daughter, the Princess Niranahar. Many young men sought the hand of this lovely young girl, but to no avail. The Sultan turned them all away.
Only a prince could be worthy of my daughter.
One day, 3 handsome princes arrived, each seeking Niranahar as their bride. The Sultan spoke to them.
I will decide upon one of you young men, but that one must please me with an unusual gift. I give each of you 1 week to find such a gift. Remember, it must be a very special present.
They each took a different path as they went on their search. Prince Hussein wandered from village to village, but found nothing. Prince Ali hunted in many shops, but he saw no special gift. And Prince Ahmed could not uncover any prize, though he went to inventors and merchants. Finally, Prince Hussein was stopped by a ragged man who showed him a carpet.
What good is that to me?
Oh, sire, let me show you what this wonderful carpet can do. Just sit upon it, and then make a wish as to where you would like to go.
Prince Hussein sat very still. I wish to be on that mountaintop. The carpet lifted them swiftly to the very spot the prince had wished for. This magic carpet is a perfect gift. What is the price?
50 pieces of gold, sire.
So Prince Hussein thought he had the best gift. But Prince Ali had found a blind peddler selling a curious tube.
Oh, great one, just wish to view a scene, and you will see it in this tube.
Let me try.
I wish to behold the pyramids of Egypt. It is true. I see them clearly. I would like to buy this as a gift to the Sultan.
Prince Ali had a fine present indeed. Surely I will win the princess, he thought. Prince Ahmed was about to give up his search when a farmer showed him a golden apple.
Good prince, this is a magic apple that will heal the sick and wounded. How can you prove this? Try touching that partly cut tree with the apple.
When Prince Ahmed placed the golden apple next to the scarred tree, the wood and bark grew back in place. So Prince Ahmed bought the wonderful gift to take to the Sultan. At the appointed time, all 3 princes arrived at the palace with their presents. After seeing each gift demonstrated, the Sultan spoke.
It will be hard to decide. First, I must tell you that the princess has been kidnapped by a robber king. The prince I select must be brave enough to rescue her.
Prince Ahmed said with a frightened voice,
Sire, I am not a fighting man, so I must withdraw.
Prince Ali lost interest too.
I am not too well, Your Highness. I would not make a fitting husband for the princess.
But Prince Hussein said, I love your daughter, sire. Allow me to search out her captors.
Well said, young prince. Here, I give you the golden apple, the magic tube, and the flying carpet. Bring back my daughter, and she is yours.
Seated on the carpet, Prince Hussein looked into the tube and wished to see the princess. The magic tube showed Princess Nuranahar in a robber tent, watched over by guards.
Flying carpet, take me to the robber camp.
Swiftly, it rose and sped out into the sky. Prince Hussein flew over rivers, lakes, mountains, and valleys. Then, as it grew dark, the desert seemed to speed by under him. At last, he could see the tents of the robbers down below, and the carpet carried him to the ground. Behind a tent, he wrapped the carpet about him and started to look for the princess. But guards seized him.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I've come to see your chief.
Then you must be a doctor we sent for to attend our leader.
Yes, let me attend him. The prince found the robber chief very ill. You are dying, but I will cure you on one condition. That is, if you give me the captive princess. The sly old villain agreed, but did not promise not to recapture them when he was well. Prince Hussein spread out the carpet, set the tube down, and held out the golden apple. He touched the ailing chief, and at once strength surged through the robber.
Well done, my friend. I would like that magic apple for my own. Guards, seize him.
Prince Hussein grabbed Princess Nuranahar and jumped on the carpet, wishing out loud, to the Sultan's palace. And away they went, leaving a startled band of thieves far behind. The Sultan received them joyously and carried out his promise, for the beautiful Nuranahar married the brave Prince Hussein.
Says here, separate 2 eggs. 2 eggs. There you are. How's that? That far enough?
Very good. Very good. Now, loaf of bread, well soaked.
Loaf of bread, well soaked.
Job well done.
You.
Next, a can of tomatoes.
Tomatoes, coming up. Hey, sir. 10 tomatoes. Hey. What's the matter with you?
Well, the tomatoes.
You out of your mind? You want to poison somebody? Very good. Half dozen oysters.
Half dozen oysters coming up. Half a dozen oysters.
Good. Now, that's it.
Okay. I'll take it to the oven.
Now, wait a minute. Everything you guys touch, you ruin. I don't want anything to happen to this bird, so let me handle it.
We'll let you handle it.
Now, let me handle it. I said let me handle it.
Turkey overboard! Laying down there in the guy's cook.
Yeah, there goes our turkey dinner. We ought to stuff you. Every time, one way or another, we always wind up behind the 8 ball.
You're ugly. Do you hear me? Ugly. You are so ugly. You are ugly. I must get rid of that beast. He makes my whole pet shop ugly. If this plan fails, I will quit and go back to New Jersey.
Step on it, knuckleheads. We'll be late for the movie.
I'd sure hate that. They're showing a cartoon. I like cartoons.
Gentlemen, you have won first prize. Hooray! Hooray! You are so lucky.
Prize? How come we get a prize?
Yeah, what we do? We didn't even enter the contest.
You win because you are the last persons to walk by my shop. Therefore, you get first prize.
How about that? I just love winning contests.
Here you are. Oh, you are so lucky. Just bring the ticket to my store this afternoon.
We won!
Just plain luck, that's what it was.
Hold it. We don't have any idea what kind of prize we won.
Hey, that's right. What do we win?
Let's go ask the pet shop man.
Say, mister, we were just wondering.
Yeah, just wondering.
What is it that we won?
You have won a genuine Dino Pooty. Goodbye and farewell again.
Gosh, a real dippy-ding-ding.
That's dinner pooty, you knucklehead.
Hold it. We don't have any idea what the heck a dinner pooty is.
Hey, that's right.
Well, back to the pet shop, man.
Say, mister, we were just wondering.
Yeah.
What's a dinner pooty?
Yeah. Isn't she beautiful? And she's all yours. Congratulations.
Let's get out of here, you bubble brain.
Wow, that's some prize. A prize nightmare.
Shoosh. Curly Joe, for being fatter than an elephant, you've just won a dinner pooty.
What phenomenal luck. Here you go, Larry. You win because you got curly hair. Oh, no, you don't. I don't accept used winning tickets.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, yeah?
You guys are a real comedy team. Hey, look, a cute little old granny lady.
That gives me an idea. Congratulations, Grandma. You just won first prize. You now own the world-famous dinner pooty.
Oh, goody. I just love winning prizes.
Excuse me, ma'am. Do I understand it correctly that you own a dinner pooty?
I just won it, Sonny.
Well, I represent the city zoo, and we would like to offer you, in exchange for your pet, $25,000.
By doggies, you got yourself a deal.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. You contributed greatly to our zoological collection.
It's a pleasure, Sonny.
You knuckle-nosed boo brain. She got $25,000 for our pet.
Don't yell at us.
Yeah.
You gave her our ticket.
It's all your fault.
My fault?
Oh,
Well,
it's
he
your
gave
fault.
the one that I was in the first place.
I want your dinner pooty in the first place. You got a brain in your skull.
What can you cook with leftover bread? If we had some beans, they're good. Yeah? Sure. Come in, we're in the kitchen.
Somebody maybe lost the turkey? Yeah, put it down here.
Yeah.
Hey, how did you find it?
Well, I asked myself, who in the world would stuff a turkey with this? And then I said to myself, nobody but the Three Stooges.
You're right. Take off your hat and join us for dinner.
Sure, and I'll put it in the oven.
No, you don't put nothing in the oven.
You accused me wrongly the last time.
Don't you touch that turkey.
Fault.
Was a handsome young boy who came from a far-off country called Norway. Peer had decided that when he grew up, he would marry a beautiful girl named Solvig. She had said to him, "Someday, Peer, if you learn to work for what you want instead of just taking it, maybe we will marry and be happy." To work as a cabin boy on a great ship. He had sailed from Norway to a strange country called Arabia, where many of the people lived the year round in tents and traveled over the sandy deserts on the backs of camels. Deep in the desert country of Arabia lived many bands of fierce robbers. In Arabia, Peer met a beautiful but dangerous dancing girl named Anitra. She said to Peer, "Why should a handsome and clever young man like you work? I have easier ways to get everything you want. I know how we can steal all the money and jewels from Al-Hamid, the wealthy merchant, and we'll never be caught." Peer listened to Anitra's plan. It sounded so easy. Late that night, when Al-Hamid was away, Anitra showed Peer how to break into the stronghold of the wealthy merchant. It was dark, and Peer was very, very frightened. But he did just as she had told him, and soon found the money and the jewels exactly where Anitra said they would be hidden. Peer heard someone coming. Quickly, he slipped out of a window and dropped softly to the street below. With enough money and jewels so they would never again have to work for anything they wanted, Peer and Anitra jumped on a huge white horse and rode off into the desert. But neither Peer nor Anitra noticed the dark eyes that watched them as they rode away. Peer and Anitra rode the great white horse far into the desert. At last they stopped to rest and divide the treasure. Peer began to feel that maybe he should not have listened to Anitra, but when he saw all the money and jewels spread before him, he thought to himself, "How will Solvig ever know?" And greedily he began to take his half. Finally, the two equal shares were placed in separate saddlebags and hung over the great white horse. Anitra told Peer to wait while she ran to the top of a small hill and made sure there was no one in sight. Peer waited. He saw Anitra signal. Had she seen someone? Had they been followed? Anitra came running back. "Peer," she whispered, "go to the crest of the hill and see for yourself." Peer left the great white horse and ran to the top of the hill. He looked into the distance, but there was nothing. He turned. Then he saw he had been tricked. Anitra had mounted the horse, and waving back at him, she had galloped away with all the money and the jewels. Alone in the great desert, Peer trudged slowly through the hot sand. What a fool he had been. Evening came. Peer was thirsty and hungry. The desert was burning in the daytime, but at night it was freezing. Far ahead, Peer saw fires. As he came closer, he could see it was probably the camp of robbers. He crawled as close as he could, and there he saw Anitra standing before the robber chieftains. The tribesmen had captured her, taken all her money, and made her a slave. dared not let the robbers find him. He sneaked back into the lonely desert. Through the long, cold night, he trudged over the deep sand. How right you were, Solvig, he said to himself. How right you were. If I ever get out of the desert, I'll never, ever take what is not mine. All next day, Piers struggled across the burning desert. And just when he thought he couldn't take another step, he saw the ocean ahead, and he knew he would be safe. He had learned his lesson. Many years ago, the brave armies of Greece and Troy were locked in a long, bitter war. The Trojans had captured a beautiful Greek princess named Helen and held her within their fortress city of Troy. It did not seem possible that any man could break into the fortress city of Troy. For days, weeks, months, the Greek soldiers from their camp on a beach near the city assaulted the walls of Troy, but they were always beaten back. Then Ulysses, a great leader of the Greeks, said to his men, I have a plan. It is dangerous, but if it works, the Trojans themselves will take us through the gates of their city. At the order of Ulysses, the Greek soldiers set to work cutting down huge trees, making the wood into planks. From the towers of Troy, the Trojan soldiers watched a big building grow taller and taller day by day until it was 6 stories high. And when the Greeks pulled away all the work ladders and scaffolds, there stood a huge wooden horse, 80 feet tall. Along the towering walls of Troy, the soldiers and the people gathered to look out across the plain at the great wooden horse. They wondered what it was for, what it meant. The Trojans did not know that Ulysses and 5 Greek soldiers lay hidden in a dark, secret passage inside the wooden horse. All through the night, fire blazed brightly on the beach. The Greeks were burning their tents just as if they were giving up their camp and sailing back home. When morning came, not a Greek ship or soldier remained. But where they had camped stood the great Trojan horse. The Trojan people poured out of the city to the beach so they could look more closely at the strange wooden animal. They thought it would make a great monument to their victory over the Greeks. The Princess Cassandra, daughter of the king of the Trojans, warned her people of this Greek gift, but no one would listen. The Trojans decided to pull the great horse inside the walls, into the city of Troy itself. The Trojans tied thick ropes around the legs of the huge wooden horse. Hundreds of men took a hand at the ropes. Others lined up behind the horse. Whooping and hollering, laughing at the Greeks who had never been able to scale the towering walls of Troy, the Trojans tugged and pushed and pulled the huge wooden horse slowly from the beach, over the plains, and through the gates of Troy. In the dark, secret passage of the wooden horse, Ulysses and the 5 soldiers lay quietly waiting. They could feel the horse being moved. What the Trojans had decided to do, neither Ulysses nor his soldiers knew. Suddenly, after a whole day and half a night, the Trojan horse moved no more. An hour passed. Still the horse did not move. Ulysses gave a signal. The soldiers felt their way silently down the dark, secret passage, following Ulysses. Cautiously, he opened the trapdoor. Just as he hoped, the Trojans had brought the horse inside the walls of Troy. The city was sleeping now, and the walls were unguarded. Ulysses drew his sword. He ordered the soldiers to follow, and he dashed for the main gates of the city. The Greek soldiers quickly tied the sleeping Trojan guards, while Ulysses scampered up the sentry tower. Holding a torch high above his head, he signaled to the Greek army, which had turned around and sailed back to the beach during the night. And even as Ulysses and his men opened the gates of Troy, the Greek army was marching across the plain. Caught completely by surprise, the Trojans were easily defeated by the Greek soldiers, who found their beautiful princess and took her back safely to Greece. And brave Ulysses was named the greatest of the Greek heroes.
Centuries ago, the country of China had an emperor who lived in a magnificent palace surrounded by a beautiful garden. The emperor's name was Lin Chan, and he was proud of his luxurious home. He spent much of his time collecting all the things of beauty he could find. He wanted to have the best of everything to make his palace the showplace of the world. Just beyond the palace grounds, there was a thick forest, but Emperor Lin Chan had never wandered through its winding paths. However, many fishermen, farmers, merchants, and travelers had, and they all stopped to hear the song of a nightingale. It was the most wonderful melody they had ever heard. Even though the palace was greatly admired by everyone, those that heard the nightingale all agreed that its song was the most beautiful thing in all the land. One day, a message was brought to Emperor Lin Chan. It was from another emperor who had visited Lin Chan's country.
I enjoyed your beautiful nation, but most of all, I was enchanted by the voice of the nightingale. Nightingale? What nightingale?
The king was angry. Others had found something beautiful in his own kingdom that he had not discovered.
Find me this nightingale!
He roared at his chief minister. The frightened minister had never heard of the wonderful bird, but he asked everyone in the palace. No one had heard of the bird, for they always lived within the courtyards. Finally, one kitchen girl said she knew of the bird, for she had often wandered through the woods gathering berries. She led the minister through many paths until they came to a clearing. There on a tree sat the nightingale, and it started to sing. The minister knew this must be the bird the emperor wanted.
Your emperor commands you to appear before him at the palace.
The nightingale understood and swelled with pride to think she was to give a command performance. So off she went with the little girl and the minister to Emperor Lin Chan. A special stand had been prepared to receive the bird's concert at the palace. The emperor was anxious to hear the bird's famous voice. He gave the signal to sing, and the nightingale burst forth in beautiful song. The emperor was amazed at the beautiful song.
You must stay with me, nightingale, for I am the emperor and must have all things beautiful.
The bird was proud to be the royal singer, and she burst forth with song again. Months passed, and the nightingale continued to please Emperor Lin Chan with her songs. One day, a mysterious package was brought to the palace along with a note.
To the memory of my visit to your kingdom. A gift from one of my grateful visitors who enjoyed all this beauty.
Indeed, it was a rare gift. A mechanical bird covered with beautiful jewels.
What a beautiful present.
The emperor wound up the spring, and the bird started to sing.
It's the song of the nightingale.
True, it was an exact copy of the real bird's voice. This delighted Emperor Lin Chan.
Now, I not only have the most beautiful song, but the most beautiful bird, and it will sing for me forever.
He was so enchanted by this elegant toy that he played it almost continually. Then one day he said,
I have 2 birds. They shall sing me a duet.
But when he looked for the real nightingale, she was gone. The emperor was furious.
That ungrateful bird has run off. Never allow it in my palace again, for this shall be the royal singer.
And so it was that the mechanical bird continued to give out its beautiful song for the pleasure of Lin Chan. The real nightingale had fled the palace with a broken heart, believing the emperor favored the new singing marvel. She sat among the branches as before, but her voice was stilled. Years passed, and the emperor listened to his beautiful mechanical bird. When one day, something had gone wrong. The spring had broken, and the machinery was torn apart. The emperor became excited.
Get me all the craftsmen in the kingdom.
But, work as they would, the results were always the same. The bird would no longer sing. The Emperor Lin Chan became very sad without his beautiful songbird. So unhappy that he fell ill, and the doctors could do nothing for him. Lin Chan was dying. The whole kingdom was saddened. Far out in the forest, a beautiful woman stopped near the real nightingale.
Many years ago, when I was a little girl, I took you to sing for the emperor. It would bring him great happiness if you could sing once more before he dies.
The emperor was very still as the unhappy attendants waited for the end, when suddenly the nightingale was singing again, as beautiful as ever before. The emperor opened his eyes, and strength surged through his whole body. The true nightingale's song made Lin Chan well and happy again. The kingdom rejoiced, and the nightingale took her place of honor as the royal singer forever after.
Once upon a time, there was no music in the world. Think of it. No music at all. Just quiet and noise. Then one day, a wise old owl called all the animals and birds to the edge of the forest. And when they were gathered together, the owl said, I have heard that up high in the sky there is a sound such as no one has ever heard before. It is a wonderful sound. If one of us could fly up high over the trees, over the mountaintops, over the clouds, up and up and up. If one of us could fly that high, he might hear the sound and remember it and bring it down back to us. Who will do it? The animals came forward. The lumbering elephant, the roaring lion, the fiery tiger, the gentle kangaroo. Then the little animals, too. The squirrel and the rabbit, the woodchuck and the fox. We can walk and run and jump, they said, but we cannot fly. We cannot help you. Then the birds came forward, flapping their wings. Hens and roosters, pigeons and pheasants. The color birds, too, goldfinch and red robin and blue jay. And the hawk and the eagle. There were little birds and big birds, light birds and heavy birds. They hopped about and strutted and walked up and down before the owl, each one saying, I can do it. Let me try. The owl called, whose wings are strong enough, whose body is light enough, who will work so hard and fly so high and not be afraid and not give up and not fall back? Who? The hen and rooster flapped their wings. Up they rose a few feet off the earth. But their bodies were too heavy and their wings too small. The pigeon tried. He flew as high as the treetops and then fell back. And so too the goldfinch and the robin and the blue jay. They were brave and quick, and their bright colors looked so pretty against the sky. But they were tired and out of breath soon, saying, "We cannot fly that high. It's too much for us." Then the hawk stepped forward, dark and quiet and fierce. Everyone watched him with great respect. With a hard push, swift and strong, off he flew, his great wings carrying him higher and higher against the sky until there was wind and cloud all around him. He felt very sure of himself until his wings began to be heavy. He tried to rest and glide and ride the wind, but it wasn't any use. He couldn't rise any more. He was tiring fast, and so back to earth he fell. Then the proud eagle stepped forward. And then a curious thing happened. A very little bird had been waiting and watching. He hadn't said a word. Quickly and quietly, he jumped up on the eagle's back and hid himself in the feathers of the eagle's neck. And when the feathers closed down over the little bird, they kept him safe and snug. Then the eagle drew back a deep breath and stretched his wings, and off he flew. Higher and higher the eagle flew. Over the treetops, over the mountains, higher than the clouds. Up, 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 until he was out of sight. And then this king of the birds began to feel how hard it was to draw his breath. His wings were oh so heavy and hard to push. He tried to rest and ride the wind, but it was no use. And then, just as he began to fall back to earth, out of the feathers of the eagle's neck jumped a little bird. His body was small and light. His wings were just right for the thin air. And so he whirred merrily away, up, 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 higher and higher, until he began to hear a sound. High and clear, swelling and growing, and it was everywhere, all around him like the air itself. The little bird was frightened. He had never been so high. He was so alone. He said to himself, "I mustn't be afraid. I mustn't get tired. I must listen and remember and bring this sound back to earth. That's what I came for." And round he flew, whirring his little wings and gliding on the wind in great circles and listening. And when he was full of the music, he began to glide down to earth, gently down through the clouds, down over the mountaintops, down past the trees, until he landed quietly near the edge of the forest. He was a very shy bird. He went off among the trees, and then without any warning and without anyone expecting it, the air was filled with beautiful music. And when the birds heard the sound filling the air around them, each one began to sing his own song. And someday, when you are walking through the forest, you'll hear sweet sounds. And if you listen, you will hear the songs of many birds. But if you look carefully, you will see that the most beautiful of all comes from a very shy little bird hiding behind a tree. It is the wood thrush. And this is the little bird who flew up to the high sky to bring music down to the earth for all of us.
Once in the forest on the shores of the great lake we call Lake Michigan lived an Ottawa Indian boy. The boy had a name, but everyone had forgotten it. They called him Lazy Bones, but they said it with a smile, for the boy wasn't really lazy. It was just that he was always watching, always wandering by himself. Sometimes he would watch the women pounding corn into meal. Sometimes the boy watched the men before a hunt making arrowheads out of flint. But the boy didn't help them. Instead, he went by himself, far into the woods, always quiet, always watching. He saw where the red squirrel hid its nuts. He saw where the deer drank and where the wolverine left his big paw marks. He had one friend, a little girl named Gray Fawn, and he told her stories about the woods.
The woods and I understand each other. The trees are my friends. The birds and bees are my friends, and the animals come at my call. Oh, ooh, for they are all my friends.
One morning, Gray Fawn went to gather berries, and by late afternoon she had not yet returned. The men of the tribe found her moccasins near the lake, but they didn't find Gray Fawn. The chief, her father, cried angrily, "She must have been captured by the Saginaws." The men painted their faces and prepared for war. While the men prepared for war, the boy called Lazy Bones went to the shore where Gray Fawn's moccasins had been found. He said to himself, if Gray Fawn had been captured, she would have dropped her berry basket. I don't think she was captured. I think she took off her moccasins to go wading. He looked along the shore until he found a footprint in the mud. He said, she came out here and couldn't find her moccasins. He sang,
my woodland friends, tell me where is Gray Fawn? Which way did she go? Oh, tell me, please, that you know, and your signs I will follow to her. Oh, Gray Fawn and I are your friends.
When the boy sang the song, a porcupine that had been gnawing young willow shoots stopped and stared at him. The boy said, I think Gray Fawn went this way to gather willow splints for a basket. He looked, and he found places where the willow shoots had been broken. He followed the trail among the willows into the forest.
My woodland friends, tell me where is Gray Fawn?
A squirrel ran down a tree trunk and stopped, his nose pointing. The boy looked and saw where Gray Fawn's bare feet had disturbed the leaves.
Which way did she go?
A rabbit jumped out of some bushes, and the boy looked and saw where Gray Fawn had pushed through. He thought, she knows she is lost and is too frightened to look where she's walking.
Oh, tell me, please, that you know, and your sign I will follow to her. Gray Fawn, Gray Fawn.
Just then a flock of crows began to scold angrily. The boy went to the noise, for he knew that crows will scold when they're disturbed by someone who has no weapons. There, under a tree, he found Gray Fawn. The boy took Gray Fawn by the hand, and they set out for home.
See, there!
And when the men saw the children, they laughed with relief and joy. And the chief, Gray Fawn's father, put his hand on the boy's head and said, now I will give this boy a name. I will call him Little Hawk, for he has the sharpest eyes of all the Ottawas.
a-going, keep a-going. You're heading for the place you love the best. Keep a-going, keep a-going, to the hills of Colorado in the west, where there's stillness in the trees and there's music in the breeze. When you're roaming in the gloaming, you'll find no better place to have your home in, where the mountains rising high look like blue clouds in the sky. Keep a-going, keep a-going. You'll find no better place to have your home in, where the mountains rising high look like the clouds in the sky. Keep a-going, keep a-going.
Yes, Mother dear.
Don't you know better than to consort with those donkeys of all people?
you doing round here? Oh, just horsing around. You're a better horse round elsewhere. Your kind ain't welcome round here, sir. Something tells me I'm being followed.
Blah, beam, blue, dee, blah, bum, boo, doo, boo, dee, blah, blah. Blah, beam, blue, dee, blah. Blah, beam, blue, boom, dee, da, 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 boom, boom. Be by the Lordy, If your mother could only see you now. That makes me so gall darn mad.
You are a gentleman and a scholar, and we sure thank you, sir. You always welcome, sir.
Greetings, my good friends. You all undoubtedly have been under the delusion, or shall I say misapprehension, that we of the cartoon animal kingdom are lacking in the finer sensibilities. Now, to disprove this, we shall ask you to forget our form of pranks and playfulness. We ask you in the name of dignity and art to put yourselves in a receptive frame of mind and not to expect of us the foolery and clowning you generally associate us with. And now, to an all-musical program. Alas, alas, the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray.
Would you like to join my troupe, eh? Well,